Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Krazy Train podcast. Ooh. So, for today's guest, she is from a very far and exotic place for some of us. She's from Italy, and everyone knows I love Europe. Between living there and just going there, the people, the culture, it's amazing. So, my next guest I had to have on here because she has a lot of good recipes. Well, that too, I'm sure. But most of all, she's gorgeous and is a very good entrepreneur because she has quite the amazing website with a bunch of different parodies and talent. So there's something for you up there, I'm sure. Oh, and also, we agree on something very important to me. We both agree that Amber Heard is a very good example of toxic femininity. Let's welcome the owner and producer of StepHouseXXX.com, the one and only Miss Gorgeous, Valentina Belluci. Yeah, Italy, I think, is so gorgeous. So a friend of mine sent me a photo, okay, of a police officer in Italy. He had like tight pants on, a tight top. He was really good looking. And I'm
Oh,
wondering, do they actually look like that in Italy?
they do. They
Really?
do. They're so handsome, so masculine, they are.
It's crazy because in the States, especially in California, you see these cups and it's disgusting. It's like they have all these donuts and I don't know what they do. And then I think I'm
They
in the
are,
wrong country.
yeah, yeah. I feel like we definitely should pick up more from like, Eastern European, like European men in general.
You have such a thick Italian accent. So I have to ask you which part of Italy you're from.
Sicily. I was born
Sicily.
in Sicily, yeah. And funny thing is that the city I was born in the name of the city was Florida, and
Huh.
now I live in Florida, which is such a coincidence, right? Unbelievable.
That's crazy because I think Florida is usually the beginning of a lot of adult film careers. Is that where you started your career, or did you start in Italy or somewhere else?
No, no, no. I started just like I would say 2 years ago. And I did start in here in Florida. I started with fetish because I live in Tampa right now. Like half of the year I live in Tampa, half of the year I live in Las Vegas because I have more work opportunities there. I have LA, I have Las Vegas, obviously, but I started here because Tampa is a fetish capital. So I start with fetish basically, and it's been I would say it's been like that for a couple of months before I started doing more. So yeah, that was the beginning.
That's kind of interesting that Florida is fetish capital.
It
I
is.
mean, I've always thought it would maybe be like Berlin or Munich, somewhere else in Europe, but Florida. So, what
Right.
attracted you to that? Or did you get talked into it somehow?
Um, Actually, I think that all started like around when COVID hit. I was working full time and I was working at home remotely, so that like created more opportunities for me to like start thinking about like doing maybe something else, right? Um, because I have more time, I don't have to like commute to my work. So, that's when a lot of girls start their OnlyFans, the whole career. And that's great. I applaud that, and I actually I had friends in the industry because my husband and I, we used to be swingers, so there always been that connection between like porn world and because our friends were actually filming. They've been like shooting porn. I mean, just themselves, right? So they've been always encouraging us, hey guys, you should try. And then like my husband, he's been very supportive. He told me that, don't you try that? But I wanted to try like baby steps. I didn't want to like go all in because I wanted to see like how it all goes. So I started with fetish. As I said, because Tampa like we have like a lot of fetish producers in here. So that's how it all started. And then I've been like networking with people. I met a lot of cool people in the industry. You know, um I also knew my agent from like personal life too. We both knew him, so I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Yeah.
It's interesting. So I remember when I was in Florida, I knew that there was a place called, I think, Plato's Retreat. Is that still there? It's probably
I
before you were born, Valentina. I'm so sorry.
No, I do not recall. I don't know really.
Okay, yeah, it's a while ago. So I know Florida has a bunch of swingers clubs. It's really interesting because at the same time, parts of Florida are extremely conservative, political wise, but at the same time, you're allowed to ride a motorcycle there without a helmet. And they have all kinds of like swinger parties and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting combination. And what would
Yeah.
you say? Did you ever have any fascination with any specific fetish at all?
Myself,
Yeah.
um, honestly, not really. I mean, I'm always like very curious about like where all those fetishes and kinks come from. So I've never been judgmental. I love to like, shoot my customs, like even the most challenging customs, and I've had a lot, So I never judge like what people have in their mind. So, but I don't really have any like crazy kinks, I would say. I like to be watched for sure. I like to watch people having sex. That's one thing. So that's why, we used to be swingers. So that's how it all, started. Like, I think that was something that I was really like attracted to. And I always wanted to watch like live sex too. That's not, I mean, that wouldn't happen here though, but in Europe, like Barcelona or Amsterdam, I know that there are like live theaters. I always wanted to go to one, but I was underage, so it never happened. I gotta go though one day.
Yeah, Amsterdam is insane. So that's where I went to my very first live sex show.
Oh, you did?
It was a totally wild trip. It was for my birthday. It's when MySpace was around. And this guy looked good in his MySpace photos. We were supposed to meet in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
I ended up jumping, I jumped out of my hotel room window, 2 stories high, because I see him at my door. I'm like, oh, gross. He was really skinny and he was old. He was like 35 or something. So
Yeah.
I went ahead. I went to a sex show. And I have to tell you, like, it's a mix of people that are in there. And it's not like what people would think in American culture, where it's just these guys just jacking off and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Now, did you have a fascination with porn when you were younger by any chance?
Yes, I did. I was a shy girl, not like one of those like girls that have that leader type of personality. I was always shy, but I think it was like deep down me, like the that wilderness, the wild side, So I think I started watching porn when I was like 15 or even 14 because I found a VHS a tape in my house. I'm like, holy crap. And then that was the first time when I watched it. And it didn't, I mean, obviously I was into it. I watched it until the end. It was I remember Ron Jeremy starred in this movie, so very very old. But can you imagine? That's the beginning, of all that. And then I remember the times of Pornhub, YouPorn, and all those sites. So since then, I think I watch porn on a regular basis. I mean, and now I don't really have time to watch porn because I have to edit my stuff. I have to watch my stuff, or like all the stuff that we produce. So I don't have time to watch like random porn, but I watch hours. But as a producer, so perspective has changed, but I still watch it with pleasure.
I only watched like one my entire life. Can you believe that? I was like
Really?
15 years old and I was at a friend's house. So right before I watched it, my mother was going on and on about some Jehovah Witness thing, and she's on a Jehovah's Witness. We're a Roman Catholic. But
Uh-huh.
then next thing, we're like watching a porn, like at my friend's place. That's what it was. She didn't want me coming home after sundown. I don't listen to that. So it was like with Haya Pachali, Peter North,
Mm-hmm.
and Randy Spears.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, I thought Randy Spears was Peter North. Someone mixed up the whole credits. So I went through my whole like first 6 months of my career thinking Peter North was a blonde. I
Wow.
know, I know.
And that was the first one and the last one, really.
It was what?
It was your like for because you said you watched it once.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah. And
see.
then although I don't even like watch my own stuff because I just have this thing like I don't even watch myself if I'm like in a TV show. I just will not watch myself.
I see. I'm very like Jesus, I'm very critical towards myself, so I just can't like the light, the angles, everything like bothers me, I'm like I'm a perfectionist, so I always like nitpick on things.
Well, let me guess. Are you like a Capricorn or a Scorpio?
I'm Sagittarius.
Okay, I was
Before
close enough. I don't know how many months off I was, but I figured that's possibly what
yeah,
it was. Now, did
yeah.
you always want to, is this what you always wanted to do growing up, or do you have aspirations to maybe be, I don't know, like a chef, a doctor, wine connoisseur?
Um, Good question. You know, I I never had like a really an aspiration to become a porn star. That's for sure. Um, I do like the creativity that is a part of creating porn. I like I have a vision, so I like to that's the aspect that I like about porn because I've been always pretty creative and I studied journalism and marketing. So I think I've seen myself like in sales. And I also used to make my own like jewelry. I still make it, but I just don't have time to sell it and to take care of this business because I have so many things going on in my life. But I always like seen myself like selling a product, because that's something I really like about like I mean that's how I've seen my life basically to be able to create something and sell it because I think I'm pretty good at it and I have pretty good communication skills. But porn is porn gives me that opportunity that I can actually create my own like brand my and I can sell my own image. So this aspect is pretty cool, and I love it. I mean, I love it as much as performing, to be honest with you. So
Wow.
that's what I think it is.
Very chipper and happy about it. That's cool. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you actually do marketing because I did realize, I mean, with this whole genre and the whole era of what we're doing now with that business, it's a lot about marketing. Like it's all marketing, especially on OnlyFans. Did you find
Yep.
it super hard to like build up your socials and so forth? Or because of your whole desire for marketing, was it easier for you?
Um, it is easier for sure, like you said, because of the whole like desire and the background and my background. But the problem is that nowadays, with all the girls that have OnlyFans and all the girls that are in the industry, it's way more difficult because of the competition. So way more difficult. So it definitely takes longer to build your own brand for sure. And yeah, you gotta put some time, effort, and skills in it because otherwise, it's very hard to basically achieve success because there are a lot of pretty girls, talented, pretty, and there is no guarantee that they will all achieve the same level of success.
I think like everyone's very different. Like Curvy Mary, she's one of the people I've interviewed before. She's a blonde, very chesty. She
Mhm.
I guess she's more I don't know the terms these days. Wow. She's curvy. Curvy
Yeah.
Mary. That's why she's called Curvy Mary. But she was doing real estate before
Mhm.
doing OnlyFans. Like she stumbled into it, just like a lot of other people.
Right.
What were you doing right before this? Like as a normal job? Was it editing? Was it working at a clothing store?
Like I said, I've had my I've been making my own jewelry.
That's right.
I have like I can tell you that I was doing e-commerce. Let's put it this way. Yeah, the e-commerce.
I love jewelry. Like I used to make
Yeah,
jewelry when I was a kid. I still make it sometimes, but I love vintage jewelry and that's like my side passion. So I
nice.
don't have the patience to really set it up online all the time.
Yeah,
It sucks
yeah,
because it's so beautiful, but I like going out in public and selling it because it's so much fun. Then you get to interact with people and tell them stories about
yeah,
each one, whether it's true or not. I mean,
yeah,
everyone wants a story behind everything, guys. Whether it's true or not is another story. Just like when you go into a strip club and you
yeah,
tell some stripper like a story about your life or whatever. It's probably not true
yeah,
anyway. So,
yeah.
so where are you now at with your porn career? I know that you have your own studio that you set up, and what are the challenges you feel having a studio?
The challenges are pretty big because I don't know if I was prepared for all that because my career is like taking a different a level right now because I feel like I can't like fully commit to shooting with producers because I also have to focus on my studio, you know. So of course I have a huge help from my husband, so he's helping me with lots of things. But it's pretty challenging to you know deal with everything, especially that we shoot in Florida, we shoot in Vegas, so it's also like the travel aspect that you have to take into consideration, and also the talent you work with, because sometimes it's hard to you know to connect all the dots to make everything work for all the people, and time, you know, time is is money, you know, and time is the most important thing. So you gotta be organized, you gotta be determined and highly motivated to make sure that you know it all is gonna work, because it's definitely not that easy. You gotta have a structure, you gotta have like a plan, you know, to make sure that all will be working, you know, as you want to, you know.
You shoot in Europe at all? Did you ever have performers from Europe come here to work?
Can you say that again? You
You
asked me if
get
I.
performers from Europe that come here
No,
from
no,
Spain?
no, no. Just from here, from States. Yeah, and also because of COVID, I've never had a chance actually to shoot a porn in Europe. I did connect with some cool people, producers and talent from Europe. So I do have I do believe that I will get it. I will have a chance to shoot with them one day. But for now I work here, so it's just it would be too challenging to take like a month off or something, because it would at least need to be like a month so I could, you know, be able to do something, you know. But in order to do it, I would need to like put on hold all my commitments that I have here. So I can't do this at this point.
Well, do
Just
you
yet.
want to move back to Europe at all, or do you just want to stay in the States, you think? Because it's so beautiful over there. Like living there is just, it was
It
such
is.
a change, but so
Yes, but I think that even though I miss a lot of like European values, and the culture is a little different in here, culture, values, and lots of other things. Obviously, there are many differences. I feel like it's way easier to live here. Um, in terms of like laws, regulations, and also it's just easier to make money, you know. That's the thing. And everything is cheaper, food, gas, things of that nature. So I can't see like moving to Europe at this point. I would love to have a house in, you know, Spain or Italy, but that would be like probably my like seasonal house, just like to go there and recharge my batteries. But probably I don't see like moving there for good, unfortunately. I wish, but it's just it's easier to live here. Yeah.
okay, now I have to ask you this, and it's, I hope it doesn't sound really misogynistic, because there are a lot of things that are very misogynistic about me. Um, well, I do a lot of tomboy things. You know, I ride motorcycles. I grew up with guys that ride bikes, and it's just everything else, but and like wrestling. But do you still cook, and like do you cook like Italian food, or
Oh, sure.
you
I
do?
love
Okay.
cooking. It's
So
so much fun for that.
do you think there's a difference in the food from, let's say, Sicily to like northern Italy or like Milan? Like, do you think different styles of make?
Um, I don't really have like knowledge about the differences. I would consider it very, very similar, you know, and I try to cook Italian dishes or in European dishes, like from Eastern Europe where I used to live as well. So sometimes I would do it, but the cuisine is a little like too, you know, greasy. So I would rather like cook something more healthy. I like Greek food too. So sometimes I would cook the Greek stuff too. Yeah, I love the I'm a foodie. I'm crazy about like you know like food, but like it's gotta be good. It's gotta have flavor. It's gotta be creative food, pretty food, nicely served. I want it just like a random food, or you know, I don't like going to you know, like fast food restaurants. Maybe when I was a kid, but not anymore.
Yeah, I stopped going for a while. I watched this movie about McDonald's called Super Size Me, and I
uh,
stopped going to McDonald's, except one night when I was really drunk. I
uh-huh.
had to go through the drive-through, and I just had
Yeah.
to get I had to get like a Coke or like fries or something. But I love Italian.
That's justified.
Yeah, it's justified then, but Italian food is the best. Like I tried making sauce from scratch and Greek food. I think everyone, almost everyone I know likes making Greek food because it's so like the moussaka, it's so
Mhm.
creative. Like you could just take your creativity and like put it there and do all different things.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to do. So tell us a little about the new studio that you have and what fans can expect once they go onto that platform.
Yeah, so again, our studio is called Step House XXX. We try to work with talent of every age, of every like skin color. So it's a taboo based studio basically for all our fans that like the step genre, so to say. But we also have, like, recently we've actually started making parodies, and they're selling pretty good, so the fans are asking for more. I'm like, okay, sure. Like recently we did a Top Gun parody. Like a month ago we did the parody of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Now that is selling really, really great. So we are trying like to like spice it up with not only the taboo scenes but also something different, Um and yeah, and we work with different models, like I said, younger, older, different skin colors. It's just like you wanna kind of, what we want to give our fans is that they can basically refer to like everyday situations, because sometimes you're looking at your neighbor or your stepmom and you fantasize about her, right? So this is like we want to like show like a real life situation kind of. We want to show like a lot of dialogues, a lot of role playing, a lot of humor. So we want it to look natural, natural, funny, real, those kind of things, I would say. Yeah.
I hope you're enjoying the ride on Crazy Train with Jasmine St. Clair podcast. So if you are, do me a huge, huge favor. Woo! Please go ahead. Go on to Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever, but Apple's great. Give me a nice rating and review. Send me a screenshot, and I promise you, I will send you a special goodie bag. So please rate and review Crazy Train with Jasmine St. Clair podcast. And in exchange for that, once I see the DM with the review and your name and address, I will get those gift bags out to you. I'm not going to tell you what's in it.